Well, summer air travel continues to hit quite a bit of turbulence with more flight cancellations and lost luggage.
High demand for international flights has caused fares to surge.
And timing is everything. Yesterday, we talked to CBS News senior travel editor Peter Greenberg.
Oh, Peter, air travel to Europe is still a big mess this week. So what are the horror stories that you're hearing, and when will that get better?
Well, it's not just a big mess. Let's get literal. It's a big hot mess. Record heat wave in the United Kingdom. Temperatures got up to about 106 degrees yesterday. And here's the wild story. I've never heard this before. One of the airports right outside of London had to actually shut down because the runway was literally melting.
Yeah, wow. That was incredible. And it seems like everybody I know is going to Europe this summer. Travel there is very attractive, I guess, given the dollar exchange rate right now with the euro. So financially, it makes a lot of sense. But what are some ways for U.S. travelers to get the most bang for their buck?
Well, the smart thing you want to do is just get there on one long-range flight. And then once you get there, don't connect on another flight as a short-haul flight to Europe somewhere else. Take the train. It works. It's on time. And if you actually analyze it, the time that you spend getting on the train is actually shorter than a short-term airline flight. That's number one. Number two, remember, with the euro on a par with the dollar, it's a buyer's market. Not for the airfare, not for the hotel, but for basic goods and services. A taxi ride, a restaurant meal, tube of toothpaste. I'll give you another example. In Turkey, where the lira has been devalued so many times, the cost of your trip this year will be 38% less than what it would have been last year.
All those tips add up, really.
Yes, they do.
Well, what does travel in the U.S. look like for the rest of the summer? On your podcast, you talked about how the second week in August could be tough. Why is that?
Well, it will be tough. If you look at advanced bookings, and we're looking at this for the entire summer through Labor Day, that's the week, the second week in August, where the bookings are through the roof. The most number of passengers on planes. We've already seen what's happening in other locations at other times this year, whether it's the TSA, the airlines themselves, air traffic control. So the system's really going to be challenged the second week in August.
So lost luggage is a big problem for flyers this summer. So what's your advice for packing and then hanging on to your bags?
Well, first of all, you know, I always say there are two kinds of airline bags, carry-on and lost. But if you're going to check it, don't put all your clothing in one bag. Split it between two, because we're losing more and more bags. 21% more than last year. And you may have seen the story a couple of days ago where Delta Airlines flew an entirely empty plane, an A330, from London to Detroit. But the plane wasn't empty. It was only empty of passengers. It was filled with 1,000 lost bags. And why'd they fly it to Detroit? The bags were never going to Detroit. They just didn't have people in London to sort them, to reunite them with the passengers. And the biggest irony, a lot of those bags that showed up in Detroit were actually headed for London.
I saw that. And is that just because they don't have enough staff? They don't have enough bodies to take care of all the bags?
Right, it's not just a pilot shortage, it's the people who work below the wings, the ground handlers, the baggage loaders, the baggage sorters, the counter agents, the gate agents. This is going to be with us for quite a while.
All right, Peter, safe travels this summer. Thanks for joining us. You're in Los Angeles today, by the way. Every week he's somewhere else in the world.
It's fun.
Yes, it is. Good to see you, Peter. We'll talk to you soon.
You got it.